a narrow strip of water just 21 miles wide. Yet this tiny passage controls the flow of millions of barrels of oil every single day. If the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, fuel prices could explode, global shipping could freeze, and the entire world economy could feel the shock in days. So why is this one waterway so important? And why do military analysts call it one of the most dangerous choke points on Earth? Welcome back. Today, we're breaking down the Strait of Hormuz, where it is, why it matters, which countries control it, and what could happen if conflict erupts in this region. Because this isn't just a map story. This is a story about oil, power, war, and the global economy. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow sea passage connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and then the Arabian Sea. On one side, Iran. On the other side, Oman and the United Arab Emirates. It serves as the only sea route for much of the oil exported from major Gulf producers like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE, and at times Iran. At its narrowest point, the strait is only about 21 miles, or 33 kilometers, wide. But here's the key detail. The actual shipping lanes used by giant oil tankers are much narrower, just a few miles in each direction. That means a disruption here doesn't have to be massive to become a global emergency. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important energy choke points in the world. Roughly 1/5 of the world's oil consumption has passed through this route in recent years. That includes crude oil, petroleum products, and large volumes of liquefied natural gas, especially from Qatar. Think about that for a second. A single narrow waterway helping supply energy to Asia, Europe, North America, and global industrial markets everywhere. If this route is threatened, oil prices can spike instantly. Shipping insurance costs surge. Global markets panic. Fuel prices rise for everyday people. And supply chains tighten. This is why every major military power watches the Strait of Hormuz so closely, because when this waterway shakes, the whole world feels it. So what makes the Strait of Hormuz so dangerous? It's not just geography, it's geopolitics. The region has long been a flashpoint involving Iran, the United States, Gulf Arab states, and international naval forces. In times of tension, analysts worry about several possible threats. 1. Naval mines. Even a limited number of sea mines can slow or stop tanker traffic. 2. Fast attack boats. Small, fast vessels can harass or threaten much larger commercial ships. 3. Anti-ship missiles. Missiles launched from the coast or nearby islands could endanger shipping lanes. 4. Drones and airstrikes. Modern conflicts increasingly involve drone surveillance and long-range attacks. 5. Seizures and interceptions. Tankers have been detained or targeted in past regional confrontations. And because the shipping corridor is so tight, even one major incident can trigger fear across the entire market. Sometimes, the perception of danger alone is enough to move oil prices worldwide. This is the big question. Could Iran actually close the Strait of Hormuz? The short answer is, it could disrupt it, but fully closing it would be extremely difficult. Iran has a geographic advantage. It sits right along the northern side of the strait and has access to coastal missile systems, naval mines, patrol boats, drones, regional military infrastructure. That means Iran can make passage dangerous, expensive, and unpredictable. But a total long-term closure? That's another story. Why? Because the Strait of Hormuz is also watched by powerful international navies, especially the United States Fifth Fleet and allied forces operating in the region. Any attempt to completely shut the strait would likely trigger a major military response, international diplomatic pressure, emergency convoy protection, mine-clearing operations, and possibly a much wider regional war. So the real risk is not necessarily a permanent shutdown. It's a temporary disruption severe enough to cause economic chaos. If the Strait of Hormuz is blocked or seriously disrupted, the consequences could be immediate. First, oil prices surge. Global oil traders react fast. Even rumors of conflict can send prices higher. Second, gasoline gets more expensive. Higher crude prices often lead to higher fuel prices for consumers around the world. Third, shipping costs rise. Insurers may classify the area as high risk, making tanker transport far more expensive. Fourth, markets react. Stock markets, airline stocks, transport sectors, and manufacturing can all come under pressure. Fifth, global tensions escalate. Countries dependent on Gulf energy may push for military escorts or diplomatic intervention. And remember, this isn't only about oil. The strait is also critical for natural gas exports, especially from Qatar, one of the world's biggest LNG suppliers. So a major disruption here could hit electricity markets, industrial production, heating costs, and energy security across multiple continents. Yes, and that's why the world takes these threats seriously. Over the years, the Strait of Hormuz and nearby Gulf waters have seen tanker attacks, ship seizures, drone incidents, naval confrontations, escalating warnings between Iran and Western powers. History shows that even limited clashes in or near the strait can cause market panic, higher insurance premiums, temporary rerouting, and international military mobilization. In other words, this is not a theoretical flashpoint. It's a real, active pressure zone with global consequences. The Strait of Hormuz matters because it sits at the intersection of energy, trade, military power, regional rivalry, and global stability. It may look small on a map, but it connects the fate of Gulf oil producers to the fuel tanks of drivers in Europe, factories in Asia, and financial markets everywhere. This is why investors watch it, why navies patrol it, why diplomats fear it, and why headlines about this strait can shake the entire world in minutes. So the next time you hear about rising tensions in the Middle East, pay attention to one name, the Strait of Hormuz, because in global politics, some of the biggest crises begin in the smallest places. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Do you think the Strait of Hormuz is the world's most dangerous choke point,